New Yorkers are flocking to an 11-year-old to get some emotional advice from 11-year-old Ciro Ortiz. And he has set up his emotional advice stand at the Bedford Avenue subway stop. And he charges $2 a pop for 5 minutes of his time. It's actually an incredibly popular gig for him. He does this on the weekends. He's made about $50 on a good day, and he only works from 12 to 2. So not so bad. The New York Post says that he thinks this is really a good way for him to give back. A little sample of some of the advice that New Yorkers are getting. This is from the New York Post. He says, one recent afternoon, a couple stopped by Ciro's Peanuts-esque card table for some marital counseling. The husband was unhappy that his wife had recently gone vegan. I told him that she didn't get mad at him for eating meat, Ciro said. She likes to eat what she wants, and he likes to eat whatever he wants, so they're just gonna have to deal with it. Honestly, super good advice. He doesn't actually want to be a psychotherapist when he gets older. He wants to be a game developer, but he views this as a good way to spend his time, and he spends a good earning of his money. Well, he spends a good portion of his earnings buying snacks and gifts for classmates who cannot afford them. So this is a really heartwarming story I thought we could talk about during the holiday season. Let's get some thoughts, 5 words or less.
Where are your parents?
Better than a lemonade stand.
Quit your day job.
What?
You know what I mean?
Like being
He's a student.
Quit being an 11-year-old
Stop
student.
being a student. He's a
Yeah.
7th grader. I
Okay,
think he
Ty
should
Lopez.
stop doing that and then
From
just fully invest in this. It's
Yo.
working. It'll always work.
Does he take HMO, or do you need a PPO to get that kind of counseling?
I don't know.
What's my deductible?
It breaks
imagine
down,
If I have a
by the way, it breaks
$3,500
down-
deductible, I can go to him 7,000 times.
think he's-
15, whatever.
Okay, I think he makes $50 an hour, by the way. I mean, he doesn't actually go for the full session, for the full hour ever. But I was looking into it because I'm like, I definitely desperately need some therapy. And maybe I'll go to this kid because an 11-year-old has better life advice than anyone else I could talk to. Like, so $50 an hour, that's not a bad gig at all, honestly.
It's not, and
It's a great
it's
gig.
really
Yeah.
creative. I don't know if you guys had lemonade stands or cookie stands, or I used to sell.
We don't do that in Turkey.
Art or that sort of thing, but it doesn't really sell very well. Aside from like your family members
Right.
and your neighbors, no one really wanted my pictures. But this is such an inventive way of connecting with people, and it also said that he's a little bit bullied in school, so he wants to connect with people and give back, and he has it seems like a heart of gold. But I really liked this.
I don't trust him.
Yeah, he's a
I don't
con
trust
man.
this
He's
kid.
a con man.
Like, he's not going to grow up to be a well-adjusted, normal person. He's going to be like Lex Luthor.
What?
Like, I found out as a kid, people would pay me to bullshit them. Like, say really simple bits of advice, like live and let live. For $2? Oh,
You know what?
this is never
But
going to
this is-
stop.
Deepak Chopra, Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins.
He's Tony Robbins.
There is an entire industry full of people that will tell you the most simple things, like, for example, I'm about to blow everyone's mind.
Do it.
Read more books. Oh my God. And then people are just like, what? That's crazy. That's new stuff. I've never heard that before. Take all my
But
money.
The secret was like,
secret.
just believe in yourself.
Yeah. Oh.
But I think the novelty
okay.
of hearing it from a child who really maybe doesn't have
Who's
this,
the devil?
No, who doesn't have the cynicism or the sort of the skepticism about the world that you sort of get, unfortunately, as you get older, it would be rather beautiful. He takes an issue, we so often in our adult lives overcomplicate things that don't need to be that complicated, and to hear it from the vessel that is an 11-year-old sweet
Right.
boy,
In his
saying, hey,
opinion,
just don't worry about that, just don't do that. I imagine that the message would actually very much resonate.
You're
my
talking
God.
about the kind of cynicism that leads someone like me to say, this kid's bullshit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
A little
Maybe
bit.
you need more
This
therapy sessions.
11-year-old.
No, we're obviously joking around, Brett and I both. I mean,
No,
I
you're
can't
not.
speak for yourself. I can't speak for you, but I'm obviously partially joking. This is great. Like he's definitely an intelligent kid, and the aspect of I think his parents were saying that he was bullied in school, and this is really helping him open up and be super social. And when he first started off, he was kind of shy, and now he's not because he's talking to 4 or 5 people an hour, and that's great. But again, this is obviously a highly intelligent, highly functioning con man in the making, and you should all be aware.
Just put him on a list. That's all I say.
Yeah, just monitor his
No.
behavior.
All right, let's go around, and if you had to ask him for a piece of advice, let's each share what we would ask him.
what stocks are hot right now.
You would ask him what, but it has to be emotional advice.
Emotional advice. What's the most important thing for me to focus on right now?
Ooh, that's nice because it's very broad.
It's broad enough for him to say like, what? And then you could probably answer these questions yourself. Mm-hmm. There was a bullshit story like Conversations with God, going along with what you were saying. There was a book called Conversations with God, and you read it, and the central thing is like the voice of God is that voice in the back of your head.
Well, I think MIT.
So it's my conscience. So it's what do you focus on? The family and the people who love you. Thanks.
There was a computer program at MIT, I believe, or Stanford, your alma mater.
Probably.
Probably Stanford. MIT sucks, right? Anyway, in the 90s, I believe, where this coder created this program where it would just ask the same question back to you that you were asking it. Mm-hmm. And then what they realized is even if the people knew that this was a computer program, and yet they would still ask for privacy with the program itself, because it then in turn turned into a therapy session for them where they were just like revealing their deepest, darkest thoughts and secrets, even though the computer program was legitimately programmed just to ask the same question back to you.
Yeah, it's
like,
Socrates.
What's the meaning of life? What do you think is the meaning of life? What does it mean to you? And then you're like, oh my God.
Yeah,
and then you start thinking about it.
We had it called Dr. Spatzo.
I guess,
come with your sound blaster.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is psychology and psychiatry is bullshit. No, it's not. But I don't want to sound too much like a Scientologist
Psychiatry
here.
Is more medicine-based.
What would I ask him? I would say...
Emotional advice for
Okay,
Hasan
no,
Piker.
for real. From an 11-year-old, I would be like, how do I deal with the crippling existential angst I feel that every day I walk on this earth is inching closer to my inevitable demise, and overall I'm just a meat bag full of bacteria that's somehow self-important and thinks that it's more important than everything else on the planet, when overall, from a macro perspective, our entire goal is to eradicate the natural resources of this very planet that is trying to kill us with typhoons and earthquakes and hurricanes every single day, only to one day die in an instant when an asteroid will finally hit us.
So you would bully the kid even more?
Yes, I would bully the kid.
You would just try to bring him down to your level. So the kid would be like, stop trying to make everyone else as fatalistic as you are.
That's what he would say?
Yeah.
You think? Or would he be like,
But he's the kind of kid who would drop like a fatalistic bomb on you.
Yeah,
And
you're like, what
get
the
out.
fuck?
Be like, why don't you just eat more cereal?
That's what I do when I'm sad.
And he could say stuff like, focus on waking up and what you're gonna have for breakfast.
You know,
and then you just go like, yes, because it's just the fundamental first step of sustenance that I need to focus on.
You know what's really funny about that? You know what I instantly thought about? Another con artist in some way, but a very successful businesswoman at the same time, Ariana Huffington, preaching about the importance of sleep. Yeah. Writing an entire book around it. It's like, yes, we know that sleep is important, but we're not, multimillionaires that could, afford that luxury.
Yeah, Grace, what would you ask this child?
Okay.
What flavor ice cream is the best?
No, I think I would ask
how much
him,
time's Manu
because
got?
I wouldn't be cruel. I would ask him a question.
Why not?
Sort of simple but yet broad. What is the best way
to avoid pedophiles when you're 11 years old at a subway station in Brooklyn?
I'm going to assault you. What is the best way to manage my stress, or how can I show my loved ones how much I love them through daily acts of kindness, something like that? Oh. Like, what's a little thing I can do? Because I'm still sort of searching for that. Like, what's something I can implement into my daily routine so I can show the people I care about that I care about them and not...
By you asking, Grace, I think everyone would know that you do love them. Like, how worried you are about that proves that you do love them.
You sound like Portland. You sound like Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
You're always thinking about them, Grace.
Oh, thanks.
But also chocolate.
Also chocolate.
Yeah,
also
chocolate helps.
Hey, guys, you want to hear from you in the comment section below. What would you ask this 11-year-old therapist? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.